Destiny 2's got some big changes on the way. The Warmind DLC and associated update are bringing some big changes and additions. Is it enough? Is it what the community wants? That's what I, Mike Williams, alongside Jake Kulkowski and Liam McKelvey, are about to discuss. Now, this is a big topic, I suppose, constantly over the last few months. What is Bungie doing with Destiny, and why are all the players constantly furious? It's like the running thing, isn't it? And so this is the next big, this time we're going to fix the game update. And it's called the Warmind DLC. It's expansion 2. It's coming out on May the 8th. And it's going to be adding some things. It's going to be taking place on Mars, so it's a new planet, a new enemy, which is the Frozen Hive.
Yeah, a new enemy, aka the same enemy wearing a different
but blue.
Yeah.
So it's and that is kind of standard protocol for Destiny DLC. It has been since the first game. They've just kind of, it's criticised as being a reskin, but then they do kind of add slight, behavioural changes and things like that, and whatever, which does kind of catch you off guard the first time it happens. But that is me really trying to be charitable. So what is this content patch? What's it going to include? I think it's basically what we saw with Curse of Osiris, right? So some strikes, some story. I said I think, but I know that's where it's going to be. It's going to be some strikes, some story, a new location. They've kind of been split focus on this, haven't they? Yeah. Like they've been talking about the content as much as the changes that are coming to the game.
Yeah, it's like the first expansion, Osiris, right? They put out that, and then either the same week or the week after, they put out this like free, not related to the DLC. You didn't need the DLC to experience this. They gave out this big patch, which was like the Masterworks weapons and stuff, if I remember rightly. But it's the same with this. Like they're going to be putting out the $20 DLC, and then as well as that, they're sort of timing this like free update. So a lot of the news that we're going to be talking about is kind of blends into one, because in fact Bungie invited some press over to their studio to talk about this, and they ended up talking about this update as much as they talked about the Warmind DLC. So a lot of it,
and the future broadly for the game, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like everything we're talking about here is going to be locked behind DLC. There'll be some things that are just quality of life updates, and just updates that they're giving out for free. So it's a bit confusing.
It is. No, honestly, it really is. If you've been away from Destiny 2 for a while and you've kind of got one eye on it to see what's going on, it can be a bit much, I think, because of the way they talk about it. This is the Warmind DLC, the expansion, but there's so much more going on as well, and it's hard to know what is included in the DLC and what isn't, and all that sort of thing. On a very basic level, what do you get for your money? It's all a bit murky, and I guess that's the nature of the game. It is an online game, I suppose. So Liam, what do you think of what you've seen from the Warmind content and stuff so far? Is this kind of what you expected?
Yeah, it's pretty much par for the course from what I've seen. You standard, like they're putting in some like a new raid lair, some new strikes, some bit more campaign missions. Kind of like, pretty much every Destiny DLC they've ever made. Well, I mean, with the exception of the Horde mode, I guess, which is probably the biggest new addition.
Definitely, yeah.
Escalation Protocol, is that what it's called?
That's it.
And this is exclusive to Warmind, so this does you have to get the DLC
you
to
need
use
the DLC, yeah.
And this is going to be kind of a 24/7 public event that takes place when you've got the Warmind DLC. It's kind of a rock hard Horde mode, right? So it is an end game activity, and it very much is. The idea is, now they've had Horde mode type stuff previously, and this is kind of a blend of all that stuff and a bit more. It is an awful lot of enemies, some high level enemies, and even at the basic tier, they're at like 370 power level, which is very very high. So they are, this is the idea is that this is difficult, and that it keeps players playing and coming back week after week. It does give you it does throw out some like mode specific rewards, weapons, I think even cosmetics they mention as well as at one point. And then the idea is that you get these weapons from the mode, and that makes you better at the mode because they're good at taking down the types of enemies that come up and stuff. There's also a new weapon that is part of that, which is the Valkyrie spear type thing.
Yeah, it's part of the DLC for sure.
Yeah, and then it comes up in that kind of public event Horde mode escalation protocol. There are rocket launchers in the game for some of the mini bosses that pop up and stuff, and it kind of looks a bit like that, except there's a different animation. You're just chucking the thing instead of firing it from a rocket launcher. Seems to do comparable damage and whatever, except it is also melee, so you can
it looks
ground
like,
pound.
It goes up to the third person when you're using it like
That's
a
right.
sword rather than
it's a special weapon, and it's limited time, so you pick it up and it's gone in like 30 seconds or whatever. So the story for Warmind is that it is Rasputin, which should be a familiar name to anyone who played the original Destiny. That was an AI of incredibly powerful, weaponized kind of AI, I suppose is a way of saying it. And it was previously based in old Russia, which was my favorite location from the first game, and that's where that comes from. So now it's on Mars, and that's why you're kind of you're pulled over to Mars, and that's where don't even worry about it. It's on Mars now. I'm sure it'll be explained in the story. And the trailer they dropped, have you guys seen the trailer? It's pretty nice.
Nice looking trailer.
Yeah, it's, as always, production value is pretty good. I thought the animation on the character, which is the new character for the DLC, which is Anastasia Bray. She is a Guardian. The animation on her was kind of like Star Wars, the Clone Wars, the cartoon. So it's the way she kind of moves and reacts to stuff.
Right, yeah.
It's very similar, right? And I did like the fact in the trailer that there were actual plot beats and explanation and a setup, and she's just kind of, the character is narrating the trailer and explaining, here's what, basically, this is who I am, this is what I want to do, this is why I'm here, that's why Rasputin is a bad thing, which is something that Destiny has lacked, and it's kind of brought back a little bit.
This is exactly the same setup as Osiris, where Osiris was a Guardian that's gone missing for a long time, and then he's just appeared. Same with Anastasia Bray. She's
a bit more like mortal, and she looks like a normal Guardian, you know. So that's the kind of setup of the content and the story of what the Warmind DLC is going to be, and Escalation Protocol. There's also big changes coming to ranked PvP.
Well, ranked PvP is becoming a thing now, so you can get honor or glory, two different types of
it's Valor, which is kind of...
That's it. Valor. I think I've been playing
got your adjectives all
that shit, and it's all the same in Valhalla. So, but they're two like kind of experience points that you earn. One's more like kill-death ratio based, isn't it? That can go down. I think it's your glory can go down, but the other one, is it Valor?
Valor, yeah. So Valor is, another word for bravery and honor and stuff. So you're just doing your best. In other words, that's what that word means, and that's what the kind of the association there is pretty straightforward. The more you play, the better you'll just progress, and it's a bit more casual, and your rank can only go up. Glory is like all or nothing. Your points go up or down based on performance. So your ranking is affected. Like if you're on a bad loss streak, your score can tank. And there are other games that do that kind of thing. It reminds me of Overwatch a little bit. Kind of, that kind of. You've got your ranking there that and you've got to keep playing. And you've got to keep that up. It's that kind of thing that they're going for, which is a great new addition. Yeah, like you said, you can do ranked PvP now. That is a thing.
And
now.
There's like you were saying about. The escalation, about how there's like gear specific for that. There's gear that you can get specifically by having enough glory points and all that. So people that want to do PvP a lot will obviously, it's kind of like that anyway with the Crucible in general. You get Crucible gear, but now there's like more branches to that.
Oh god,
So you're gonna get glory armor and shit.
And the glory, one of the main weapons in the glory rank is Redrick's Claymore, which is a pulse rifle. And some of the reaction I've seen from big Destiny YouTubers and personalities and stuff, they think it's huge because of how the perks affect the rate of fire, therefore making it like the most powerful weapon in the game. But that's going to be hard to obtain. It's not going to be like you can just buy it from Xur or whatever when he pops up. You have to reach like Fabled rank in glory rank, which is, and your rank is I think it's time limited. I'm not sure.
Like per season.
And so all per week. Well, one of them's per week, I think. I'm not sure, but we should maybe not include that as information because I don't know for sure. But there is some kind of limits that pressure you to get on it and get working at it. So you've got to be good. The only way of getting it is being good at the game, which is kind of a new thing for the game. Liam, what about this split in kind of PvP now, where you've actually got a glory rank and a Valor rank and a ranked mode that actually matters and changes? Is that like more of a carrot on a stick, do you reckon, for you to get back into the game? Is that an idea that you can get on board with?
I think my sort of playing like competitive ranked multiplayer game days are behind me, but I can see why it might.
It's a time commitment, isn't it?
Yeah, because I can see it works really well for Overwatch. Like everyone always going, I've got to get like up to my rank. Same with like StarCraft and stuff like I've got to get to like Gold or Diamond League. It's like, for me personally, it's probably not going to bring me back to the game, but I can see it, maybe interesting some people, because people do they care about their rank. and they do like being top of the leaderboard. So I can see it like bringing in a few players at least.
Yeah, I think the way we played it as a kind of fire team, we were just checking in every week and dipping in whenever we had a chance, and we were all available and having a bit of a laugh that way. I think possibly I imagine if we all went for this DLC hypothetically and had this kind of option available to us, we probably would check it out, and if we were on a good run, we'd probably go. I think we'd make a step up. Yeah. And I think the idea is now, for those people who are like hardcore Destiny players, that option is there for them. Yeah. And they can go, we're going for it. Like we can go for it. We'll just play Glory Rank. Valor's a waste of time. You can have that snobbery and you can have that attainable league, which is exactly what Destiny has kind of been missing.
And all the loot that comes with it. So it'll be kitted out fully. But we played a lot of PvE, didn't we?
We do play a lot of PvE, so tell us a little bit about what's coming up in that, Jake.
All right, well, strikes. This is the thing about this DLC. You know, like the Osiris DLC, the strikes were just the story bits, the big battles, really. So I'm wondering...
Same kind of locations, weren't they, for sure, at least?
Yeah, so I'm wondering if I say the strikes that I know about now, how much of the main stories is going to spoil people. So what I'm trying to say is, if you are that interested in the story and you don't want it ruined for whatever reason, what I'm about to say is probably going to be big parts of the story.
In some way, spoilerific, yeah.
So from what I know, there's 3 strikes, 2 for everybody, and 1's PS4 exclusive. So the first one I know about is called Strange Terrain, which is like an underground strike in Hellas Basin, which is the name of the Mars map you're on, which is a little bit bigger than the Mercury one.
Oh my god, yeah.
And in this one, you're in some tunnels fighting against Nokris, who's like this hive prince, you know, like the floating wizard type enemies that you get. He's like a reskinned one of them. Looks a bit like a Tomb King, actually, from Warhammer.
Nice.
And
top reference.
Yeah, you're tasked with stopping him before he funnels more power to... Now, we didn't mention this earlier, so this is going to sound weird out of context. The worm god Zol. So about this DLC, Warmind. So you're on Mars with Rasputin and that, and these icy lot, but also
they're called the Frozen Hive. Actually,
that's
embarrassment.
This because they're a new enemy.
What is that Danny Dyer delivering?
So Zol is the worm god that they worship. He looks very real. If you watch the trailer, you'll see like his sort of looming shadow there.
Can we just email Bungie and say, can you please change it to Icy Lot, please?
Don't get caught up in the details, all right? So Nokris is funneling power to the worm god, and you've got to stop him. So that's strike number 1 that I know about. Strike number 2 is inside the Warmind bunker itself. So Rasputin's house, basically, Will of the Thousands.
His mana,
now,
Rasputin's mana.
Now, like every Destiny plot ever, somebody's neural network is in trouble. This time it's Rasputin, and his neural network's under attack, and you get given the javelin weapon, which is the Valkyrie, from Rasputin, and you have to defeat a monstrous foe. So that's probably that worm I was on about.
Okay.
PS4 players will get an exclusive strike called Insight Terminus. This isn't actually on Mars like the rest of the DLC strikes and content. This is on Nessus. Okay. And according to Bungie's little quote for you, Zavala needs a team of Guardians to break into a Vex tomb that has been overrun by the Cabal. Defeat the powerful Scion Commander before he can take over the Vex Gateway network and reap the rewards.
Sounds pretty separate to the actual story and entire content of the DLC. So it just sounds like something else they've just spun off as a PlayStation thing. But that's included in
from what I've read,
DLC as well. So so
that's
a bit of a
mishmash. I just blame Polygon because that's where I read it from.
God damn it, Polygon. So that's it. That's the Warmind DLC. There is a lot there, but I think the reaction is I think being mixed because of the divide in talking about Warmind as content, which you still remember like a 17 quid update, but then people talking about the future and the changes they're making, and it feels like they'll say like, oh, why is it so easy to get hold of exotics? I feel like I've got everything in the game has to offer, and then the Bungie go, all right then, we'll make exotics really hard to get. We'll put this one gun in the glory rank, and you've got to be really good to get it. And then the people are complaining about that as well. So they're kind of answering one request, but then annoying another set of people. So it does feel sometimes like they're it's difficult for them to
Yeah,
please everyone.
Yeah, they're never going to please everybody. The exotic masterworks being added as well. You know, like the legendary masterworks setting. They're doing it with exotic stuff, right? Soon.
So what's masterwork? Masterwork
Where you can kind of customize your
bit of a mod, isn't
weapons a little bit. Yeah. So if you had a masterworks legendary weapon, it's kind of halfway between a legendary and an exotic. But they're adding some exotic masterworks, so you can customize your exotic. So it's not just said and done. So an example that they gave was Vigilance Wing. Could be fully auto if you had Masterworks on it. I think the thing with this Bungie controversy, and I'm trying to fan the flames, what they've outright said is, because they're working on this DLC, half them and Vicarious Visions are developing it with them,
co-development.
The Insane Trilogy guys and many other games. They say that they've been working on this for a while, so because of that, the DLC release won't actually reflect a lot of concerns players have had. So I guess that's why they're putting out this update at the same time. The update's going to be the stuff that they have looked at feedback, and it's going to be a response to that. Whereas this is just going to be business as usual, because this got leaked actually, didn't it? In like November time, they leaked Mercury and Mars, and so they must be working on it for a while now. So.
It does feel like it take a long time to implement stuff, and one just shining example of that is the emotes wheel. Which people have been asking for years.
Much requested feature, right?
And that's coming now on May the 8th, 2018.
So you can customize what emotes you want.
Yeah, you don't need the DLC for that, incidentally. Everyone gets access to the emote wheel, so that's great news for emoters out there. So there's a lot to talk about here. We have barely kind of scratched the surface, to be honest, because that's the way we play Destiny. We're not huge specialist Destiny YouTubers. There's plenty of them out there if you want a more kind of detailed discussion about it, I suppose, about very specific mechanical stuff, because my God, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of minor changes and stuff that needs talking about, positive and negative, I guess. It depends how you feel about this stuff. There was like a live stream reveal type thing, and I think we'll try and get a clip of that in the link of that in the description for you if you want to watch that. But I must warn you, it's kind of dry viewing at some points, because I did watch it, and there's a lot there. So that's it. That's the Warmind DLC. It arrives on May 8th for Destiny 2, costs about $16.99 in the UK. Thanks a lot for watching. If you liked the video, then please remember to like and subscribe. There should be another video on your screens right now, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. We'll see you next time.
Back to this place. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have thawing right next to Rasputin. We have the hive. So we have a whole new frozen hive that's on destination, that's there to challenge the players.